meeting of the Brick Township Council to order. Madam Clerk?
Adequate notice of this meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press on January 30th, 2021, and the Ocean Star on February 5th, 2021. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspapers, posted on public bulletin boards, and the Township website.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for participating in tonight's Township Council meeting. The COVID-19 pandemic prevents us from meeting in the traditional way, but we have adjusted accordingly so that we can continue to conduct the business of the Township and serve our residents. This meeting is available through the Zoom application where you can see and hear tonight's meeting and participate during all public comment periods as you would if we were all together in person. To ask a question or comment, please click on your device and a bar will appear on the bottom of your screen. One of the icons posted there is a Raise Your Hand button. Click that to indicate that you have a question. We can see that on our end and will call on people one at a time. Questions and comments are also welcome by email. The address is publicmeetingquestions@bricktownship.net. We are checking that email throughout the meeting and will read those questions into the minutes and respond accordingly. Roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilman Minikino.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Mumolo. Councilwoman Pontorero.
Here.
Vice President Halloran.
Here.
President Crate.
Here. At this time, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, can I get approval for the reports of the municipal officers?
Yes.
Can I get a motion and second to approve the minutes of the January 19th meeting?
Motion, Howard. Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Minikino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are on to the consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 4-1.
Authorize receipt of bids, demolition, and secure property at 478 East End Avenue.
Mayor?
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for the demolition and to secure the property at 478 East End Avenue as per a recommendation from the Township's Property Maintenance Board. So the Property Maintenance Board was set up a number of years ago because we had a lot more abandoned homes back then, and the Property Maintenance Board works with residents trying to get them to fix up the properties. And then, unfortunately, if it doesn't happen, then it ultimately would go to demolition with this particular address, 478 East End Avenue. The residents surrounding there have been complaining about it for some time. The property has been before the board since October of 2019 with absolutely no improvements made at all. So unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess if you're one of the residents who want it down, this 478 East End will most likely be demoed, and we're looking to receive those bids.
Thank you. Resolution 4-2.
Authorize change order number 1, 2020 bulkhead replacement, various locations.
This resolution authorizes a change order increase in the amount of $3,300 as part of the 2020 bulkhead replacement contract with Kramer & Son Marine Contractors. The change order is the result of the need to use a helical anchor system instead of a traditional tieback system as needed in the vicinity of the water main and hydrant on Brower Drive. Resolution 4-3.
Authorize acceptance of donation from CSD Kitchen and Bath, LLC, Police Department renovation.
This resolution authorizes the acceptance of a donation and installation of kitchen cabinets and countertops by CSD Kitchen and Bath, New Jersey, LLC, Brick, New Jersey, to be used in the renovation of the Brick Township Police Department. The value of this donation is $1,937.78. Resolution 4-4.
Authorize acceptance of donation from Brick Township Board of Education.
This resolution authorizes the acceptance of a donation of surplus property from the Brick Township Board of Education for a wrestling mat for our Recreation Department. Resolution 4-5.
Authorize execution of shared services agreement with Seneca Dunes Homeowners Association Beach Maintenance.
This resolution authorizes the execution of a shared services agreement with the Seneca Dunes Homeowners Association for beach sweeping maintenance for the 2021 summer season. All costs for manpower and equipment will be paid for by the association, including the manpower, equipment, and diesel fuel for the beach parade. Resolution 4-6.
Authorize execution of agreement lifeguard services for Manahawkin Shores Beach Association.
This resolution authorizes an agreement with the Manahawkin Shores Beach Association for lifeguard services for the 2021 summer season. In this agreement, the association will reimburse the township for the use of our guards. Resolution 4-7.
Authorize special events permit BCCT theaters in the park.
This resolution authorizes a special event permit for Brick Community Children's Theater to conduct 2 Theater in the Park events on May 20th through 22nd, with a rain date of May 23rd, and August 14th through 16th, with a rain date of August 17th at Windward Beach Park. Resolution 4-8.
4-8A is a performance bond release for the Shippey Family Partnership on Sunset Boulevard in the amount of $9,882.21. 4-8B is a performance bond release for PSD Corporation on Manahawkin Road in the amount of $17,892.30. 4-8C is an inspection fund release for the Urban Edge Properties Phase 2 on Route 70 in the amount of $1,951.70. 4-8D is an inspection fund release for Urban Edge Properties for Phase 3, Route 70, in the amount of $1,623.33. And 4-8E is an inspection fund release for Roberto Blanco for Pine and Hillcrest Avenue in the amount of $1,787.41.
Thank you. Resolution 4-9. Ms. Bergen?
Thank you. 9A is 100% DAV refund and cancel taxes for Block 1385.05, Lot 4, in the amount of $8,431.56. 9B are tax overpayments for 2021. There are 3. Block 1320, Lot 18, in the amount of $1,534.58. Block 902.29, Lot 5, in the amount of $1,669.60. And Block 900, Lot 3, in the amount of $2,157.31. 9C is state tax appeal granted for Block 380.19, Lot 1.02, 74 through 80 Brick Boulevard, in the amount of $52,315, which is a 2-year appeal.
Thank you. Resolution 4-10.
Authorize execution of hold harmless agreements.
Mayor?
Thank you. This is an exciting resolution. This resolution authorizes a hold harmless agreement for each of the 2 developers of the property known as the former Food Town site. The township has 2 separate contracts to sell the property in 2 separate parcels, one to HFZ Superdome and the other to M&M at Route 70 LLC. The applicants have applied for site plan approval for the construction of a 122,800 square foot indoor and outdoor sports facility, and for the construction of 2 retail buildings and 1 restaurant with a drive-through, along with proposed parking spaces and associated site improvements. The applicant's plan for the project provides for stormwater runoff from Brick Boulevard, a county roadway, to be commingled with on-site stormwater, which will be routed through on-site piping, treated, and discharged into the Forge Pond. The county has approved a utility plan for the site regarding the stormwater runoff, conditioned upon the applicants consenting to hold the county harmless from any liability for the approval, acceptance, or installation of the utility plan. Both applicants have signed those agreements, which now must be signed by the township in order to be submitted with the county application. And so what that means is for the Food Town site and the future Sports Dome site, we are through with the NJDOT. We are through with the NJDEP. If the council agrees to authorize me to sign the hold harmless agreements, they will be delivered to the county for the county planning board meeting. And then all we need is the BTMUA to sign off on the plans, and then it's back here in the township. So this thing is ever so close, and very exciting to finally get this sports dome under construction, for give another option for all the kids and adults and babies and moms and dads and grandparents something to do here in Brick. So it's getting closer. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to the end of our consent agenda. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion, Montanaro. Second, Halleran.
Open to council. Closed council, open to public for questions on the resolutions only. Closed. There's no- oh. All right, seeing none, closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Minikino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. Resolution 411, computer bill resolution, sorry.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $1,091,140.72.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Minikino motion. Second.
Open to council. Closed council, open to public for questions on the computer bill resolutions. Closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Minikino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Abstain, Sandy, yes to the rest.
Councilman Mumalo.
Abstain, reading occupational health, yes to the rest.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 412, manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,697,393.98.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Mumalo motion. Second, Halleran.
Open to council. Closed council, open to public for questions on the manual bill resolution. Seeing none, closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Minikino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. Resolution 51 is an ordinance on first reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing Chapter 396 of the Township Code entitled Stormwater Management.
Yes. The NJDEP stormwater rules have been modified through March of 2020. All municipalities are required to amend the Township Stormwater Management Ordinance to comply with the model ordinance as provided by the state. The ordinance includes a number of requirements that are designated to improve the quality of stormwater runoff. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion, Montanaro. Second, Montanaro.
Who was first?
Minikino.
Minikino. Thank you. Open to council. Closed council, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Minikino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. 6-1, ordinance on second reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending the Township Code of the Township of Brick to designate Salmon Street as a through street.
Mayor?
Thank you. I know this one got a little bit confusing to some people last time. So this is, there's a chapter of our ordinances, 288-42, entitled Through Streets. So there is listed all the through streets in the township. And so what a through street is, it's the street without stop signs. So in order to have stop signs on the streets that cross a street, you have to designate a street as a through street. So that then authorizes stop signs to be placed. So in this particular case, the police department's traffic safety office requested the council to consider amending this very, very large ordinance to increase safety. So it went over to our to the Public Safety Committee, and they heard from the police chief about what the traffic safety wanted, and they agreed, and they recommended that this amendment of the ordinance to make Salmon Street a through street. So Salmon Street's across from the McDonald's on Chambers Bridge Road. It's just past the 7-Eleven, right next to the bank that recently opened, and the roadway extends several blocks out to Pier Avenue. And right now, there's no stop signs at any of the intersecting streets because Salmon's not recognized as a through street. It's not in this ordinance yet. Once approved, stop signs will be installed on Salmon Street to prevent it from being used as a speedway. The police department will also conduct selective enforcement once the signs are installed to help provide education, because it's going to be new, so people aren't going to be used to seeing the stop signs. So they will then be out there and advise people like, hey, this is now a stop sign because Salmon Street is now the through street. That's what it's all about. It's just adding it to a long list of streets where the side streets have the stop signs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second? Open to council. Closed council, open to public. Seeing none, closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik. Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumolo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. Okay, we are on to public comments. Madam Clerk?
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Please wait. If you have a question or a comment, please raise your hand, and we will acknowledge you and call on you to speak. Anyone from public? Yeah. Mr. Palmisano, go ahead. Please state your name and address. Is he unmuted? Is he unmuted? Are you muted on your end, sir? Mayor?
Yes, they are coming out to inspect.
Do we have a time frame on that?
Soon. They'll be out soon. We're going to have the manufacturer come out and inspect and not engage. They'll be out to inspect, yes.
Do you anticipate that happening before the next council meeting? Will you report back?
If it does happen before the next council meeting, I will report back, yes.
Why is it being so secret? Why can't the residents be there rather than separate? Why let them know that's that?
Would not be productive, thank you. Yeah.
Second is, the last council meeting 2 weeks ago, the third mentioned, when it was questioned by one of the residents regarding, pump station. He said that at his hearing report that it cost $10 million. That's on record. Well, that night, and I also sent every council member and the mayor and Joanne an email that evening, along with an article that was passed, regarding pump stations that are installed in the surrounding municipalities, which are small municipalities. And in that article, it said they cost between $1.5 and $2 million. And that they took care of the flooding issue, nuisance flooding, as well as the other flooding issues that they had in those towns. And that 90% of the funding for these pump stations was provided by FEMA, the New Jersey Environmental Infrastructure Trust, as well as county and other federal grants. Why did Ag say there's $10 million when they cost $1.5 and has Rick researched enough and looked into all of these grants? Has Rick actually engaged in a applied for the New Jersey Environmental Infrastructure Trust grant?
Ms. Bergen? Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or,
I just want to clarify one item with the New Jersey Environmental Infrastructure Trust, the EIT program. That's a low-interest loan. It's not a grant.
Rick researched applied for and was wanting to take care of some of the funding. Again, you see on record that the pump stations would cost $10 million each. You said that 2 weeks ago to this time. And in that article, it said they cost between $1.5 and $2 million. And that article that it was written, and it was quoting the manufacturers of pump stations as well as engineers that took care of the project in the other town.
Well, there's no two projects that are the same when it comes to pump stations. It depends on how far you have to go to pump the water, what kind of process you have to go to get permits. It's not one price fits all. It would be based on the project, and we don't have estimates. But we know that it would be a significant cost beyond what we could manage our share in our capital budget. So we are focusing on roadway elevations as our solution. If you don't agree with that, I respect your opinion, but we are focusing on roadway elevations and have applied for funding sources to help us through that project.
Again, hopefully by the town, it's not a one shop or one stop. They raise roadways, they put pump stations, and then they add flat valves, both like that. And I don't understand why Rick's not examining and exploring those other issues. Why is it roadway elevation? What is the town going to do if it's roadway elevations? We've seen this. We're not guaranteed it because the homeowners along recreation roads are not any payment. Then what is the town, what is their attitude, what is their solution? If you basically say we don't want the road rates.
Our full intent is to complete the roadway elevation projects. So we will be talking to the residents about that and how it impacts their private property. You can disagree with the strategy all you want. You've made that perfectly clear, and nothing that we've proposed has been anywhere near acceptable to you, so we're focusing on our mission and our goal and not trying to get sidetracked by getting into arguments when there's actually no way to resolve your concerns. So I think your 5
Yes.
minutes are up,
Yes.
and I'll leave it to a council president if she wants to extend that.
no, I think we're good. I think we've answered the questions. We've repeatedly answered the questions that you've asked, so thank you very much. Is there anyone else from public?
He's got his hand.
Seeing none, close public? But you had your 5 minutes, sir. Thank you. there anyone else? Okay, we're going to close public.
I think it was Councilman Halloran.
Councilman Halloran, are you speaking?
I'm just saying, go ahead.
To me? Yes, I am. Okay.
No.
We are moving forward with the plan that we have in place. We are not going to continue this conversation because you ask the same questions every week. We have the same, excuse me. I'm going to ask you to please stop talking. You ask the same questions every week. You have the same complaints every week. We answer the questions every week. We have answered the question this week, and I am closing public because you are asking the same questions that we have already answered. No answer that we give is satisfactory. If you'd like to call back in or email again, and Ms. Bergen and the mayor always seem to answer, then we will do this again in 2 weeks. I see the answers on those emails, and it's the same thing with the emails that's happening right now. You don't like the answer, so you re-email, and you ask the same question again, and you still don't like the answer. We're going in circles. You've had your 5 minutes. I'm going to respectfully ask you to call back in 2 weeks and ask the same questions again. Thank you.
This is Jean McCurdy. My hand is up. Hello?
Go ahead, Ms. McCurdy. Go ahead.
Hi. So this is Jean McCurdy, 527 Broad Avenue. We are wondering, my husband and I and our neighbors, including Mr. Consolano and others who can't attend tonight, if you've asked the flapper valve people to come and inspect and see what's working, what isn't, because as we all can see, it's clearly not working. So the reason we keep asking that question is we don't really get, it's not that we don't like your answers, we're not getting answers. Have you invited them to come and see, and can we see if there's any recourse with the flapper valves? We understand that they may be working, or at least there's hearsay that they're working in other townships. We'd like them to work in our township. And I also have a follow-up question once you can answer that question, please. Thank you.
Can I ask her?
Yes is the answer.
Yes, the mayor stated...
We talked all about this.
Mr. Palmisano asked the same question, and the mayor said that, yes, they will be coming out to inspect. We don't have a specific date yet, but once they come out to inspect, we will report back what the findings were, whether they're working or not, or working properly or need repair. So what's your second question?
Yeah, we know they're not working. I'm just cheating on pretty again. We know they're not working. We're just, we're anxious for them to work. I know you are too.
Yes.
We're really anxious for them to work, as you can imagine. Also, what, Joanne, Ms. Bergen, you've shown me the map before on meetings and, circulated. I guess I'm still not really understanding. Is Broad Avenue ever being lifted? Is it being lifted when we've seen the cones that say, construction will start in March? I'm unclear what construction and if and when Broad will be raised. And I have one more question after that, but I'll leave myself.
We can look into whether or not maybe that's an MUA project or something that has construction starting in March.
That's not this project, right?
It's not, has nothing to do with either the FEMA grant or the DEP grant.
Okay, this is Jean McCurdy again. I'm confused on what happens first, second, third, and if it even happens at all.
But Broad Ave is part of the FEMA grant. Yeah, there's a picture on your screen right now. If you're on a computer, you can take a look. See Broad Ave? Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I said DEP, I meant DOT. So.
Okay, so again, I'm confused. You want to just restate that again so I understand when it is Broad is happening? Jean McCurdy from Broad Ave.
It is happening, yes. It's part of the grant.
And is there a date
This is all covered in the
Yep.
emails, updates I provide to everybody, that, I take the time to do that so everybody has the same information. I'm not sure why if the emails don't make this clear, but I'm happy to elaborate for the other public members on the phone that think we're not communicating this. So we've indicated every step of the way. When we've submitted an application, we've sent an email saying we've submitted an application. Here's the map, here's the plan, here's what we're waiting for, here's what's next. So what is your question? When is this project starting? What was submitted?
Yes, Gene McCurdy.
I know who this is. We don't know when the project's going to start. We submitted the application, and as per my update email, we received word from the DOT that we were funded, but we do not yet have a grant agreement, so we cannot proceed with the design or any part of the project until we have a grant agreement. The grant agreement must be executed for the cost to be covered under the grant. When we get the grant agreement, executing that will be on a council agenda. So for those of you who participate in the council meetings, you'll see that that's moving forward. For those who don't participate in the council meetings, they'll get my email indicating that we've received the grant agreement and it's been executed by the council, and now here is our timeline. So we've learned that we don't project dates because it only leads to more confusion and disappointment. That's the status. When the grant agreement arrives, it will be executed in the form of a public meeting, and you guys will be advised accordingly.
So what happens to Broad Avenue when this other construction starts? Will be the lowest part. Like, I'm just, with the flapper valves not working and the unknown dates, we're just in for so much. I mean, you can imagine our frustration. I was following you with no dates, but I'm not following you with the plan for Broad Avenue, because we will just be, I don't even know, will we be washed out? I mean,
No, the project is an MUA project, so that has nothing to do with the roadway. It's not going to change the structure. I mean, and your questions are really for the MUA. It's their project. The construction signs you see for something starting in March. So you can feel free to zoom in or attend an MUA meeting if you want details on that project. But they typically leave hang tags on your door that tell you what the project is and when they're starting. But again, that's another agency, and that's not a flood mitigation project. That's a utility project.
and I was wondering, when these talk people come out in this event, can we talk to them and see what they have to say? And
So my question to you, Mrs. McCurdy, is what were your expectations of the flapper valves? You thought when the flapper valves got installed you would not see water on your road at all?
Well, respectfully, I was hoping that there would be less water. I knew it wasn't going to take care of the problem 100%, but I was hoping there's less, and there's actually quite a bit more, and it's quite a bit more frequent. And so I guess in my heart of hearts, I was hoping for something better than what we're experiencing.
But you really don't know if it's better, right? You don't know if it's better.
I do know it's a lot worse. I live there, and we've pumped out, I can't even tell you how many times.
So, but you don't know what you would have if the flapper valves weren't there. If the flapper valves were the solution, we wouldn't be talking about catch basins and roadway elevations and pump stations. They were never outlined as a solution. They were outlined as a way to provide some level of assistance while those projects got underway. You don't know if they're helping or not. You don't know if they're working or not because you don't know what your roadway would be like without them. You're assuming they're not working because you've bought into the negativity that's being promoted by one resident of your neighborhood that's insisting that nothing is working. But you really don't know.
No, respectfully, I don't feel that that's the case. We have had a house in Normandy Beach for, 25 years. When we first moved in, there was no flooding. There was, it was like, I don't know, it was fun. The kids maybe got on their boogie boards and went down the street once a summer. Then, as I've mentioned before in town council meetings, when Superstorm Sandy came along and we petitioned the town to find out what they were going to do after Superstorm Sandy, they assured us that we should restore the shore and we should go ahead with our house. And yes, the streets and the flooding would be taken care of, which actually obviously hasn't happened. And so that's 2012, and now
And what else has happened in that time? Sea level rise.
rising.
Sea level rise has also happened over
Yeah.
those periods of years. So your problem has been exacerbated greatly by nature.
Yeah, you can track that. So the elevation of Normandy is 1.75. So when the sea level is above 1.75, you're going to have water.
You're going to the underwater.
Yeah, so those events have happened and more as you know, in the ACT presentation that happened, they actually had a chart there that showed over time how many more flooding events, or well, I forget what they called it, high water events, something like that they called it, I forget the term that they used, and how much they've increased over the years.
Mayor, I mentioned that I'm not an engineer. All I know is it's gotten worse and worse and worse, and it's not just sea level.
It's the tides, yeah, just take a look at the tide. If you follow the tide chart, anything above 1.75 means you will have water.
But here's the thing, it's rare if the water goes over our bulkhead. It's rare. So I'm
Yeah,
not sure
it's-
that.
Okay.
It's not about the
Okay.
bulkhead. No, the water goes to the place of least resistance. I know Mr. Palmisano doesn't agree with that, but that's just scientific facts. The places of least resistance is where the water comes up.
Okay, so to circle back around to your first question that we did answer is that, yes, there will be someone coming out to inspect from the company, the flapper valves, and when that happens, we will report back to the residents in that area to let you all know what those inspections produced, whether they be positive or negative. So thank you very much. I think your 5 minutes is up. We appreciate...
When they come, so we, can we be notified when they come, so maybe we could ask them questions and maybe just kind of meet with them?
And so that on-site visit with a professional would go like this meeting then?
Yeah.
Right?
The professionals are going to go out, they're going to
Yeah.
evaluate, make sure they're working, and they'll report back to us, and we'll let everybody know.
I don't think that, we just have questions for them. There's no, this isn't about...
The questions
Okay,
are whether or not they are working and installed properly.
Yeah.
They will investigate that and let us know, and we will let you know.
And we will report back, absolutely. Okay? Thank you. Is there anyone else that has not had 5 minutes yet? Is anyone else that has not had time today? Excuse me, sir? Okay, we understand that you don't trust what we're saying, and we duly noted. Thank you for your time. And, yes. Okay. I'm going to stop you there because your 5 minutes is beyond up. Everything that you've said is duly noted, and we will get back to you as soon as we have information from the Flapper Valve Company. Thank you. Is there anyone else?
No.
I'm going to close public. Moving on to council comments. Mayor? Wait, is that who goes first? I don't even know. I'm sorry. Joanne?
I have no other
Ms. Bergen, I'm
comments.
sorry.
I just, I did mention to, I want to point out that I mentioned to Mr. Palmisano, when he sends an email to 8 or 10 or 12 people, I don't think it's likely that he would get a response because it's not to all of those people, it's to someone. So my suggestion is if you have a question for a person, ask that person and copy whoever you'd like. But it's very difficult when it's sent to so many people because we don't really know which person you're asking. So I personally would prefer if you had a question for me, you could send me an email and copy whoever you'd like, but then this way I know you were asking me the question. I just want to clarify that.
Okay, thank you. All right.
I don't have anything tonight.
Thank you.
Nothing.
I'm coming to you. Mayor, go.
Yes, thank you. So, I know a lot of people, especially seniors, they don't necessarily, what's happening? Somebody's interrupting.
I
What's
just
going on?
removed that.
So a lot of people do not have internet access and things like that, and it's a lot of the seniors. So we do have our B20 access on Xfinity, Comcast, and also there's a channel on FiOS as well for those lucky enough to have FiOS. That has the public access to where these meetings are. So I wanted to talk about the COVID vaccines. Now, I know a lot of seniors do not have access to a computer or to internet, and you may be watching this right now. So our senior services is set up for those people without computers and without internet, 732-920-8686, and they will screen you and then get you over to Ocean County Senior Services in order to try to get you signed up for a vaccine. The state government made an estimate that about 70% of adults would want to have the vaccine, and I think that's more like 90 or 95% from the reaction I'm getting from people asking how to get it. So for those of you with computer access and internet access, even if you have sons, daughters, grandchildren that can help you out, there is a COVID-19 New Jersey site. It's covid19.nj.gov/pages/vaccine. There's a button at the top to register. I have not heard of anybody getting an appointment through that system, but the state says that that actually happens. But again, I haven't heard of anybody. So there's 6 mega sites in New Jersey. There's one for Atlantic City, which is atlanticcare.org, and that one's great. It's the best one in the state because you can only register for a vaccine on Tuesdays at 3, or schedule a vaccine, I should say, Tuesdays at 3 p.m., Thursdays at 6 p.m., or Saturdays at 9 a.m. So what you need to do is get on there about 10 or 15 minutes early and just wait. And the beautiful thing about this, it'll tell you what number you are. So earlier today, I tried on 2 different things. I had my phone out, and I was number 5,900. I also had my computer where I was 56,300. Unfortunately, they only had 4,500 shots, so anybody who was number 1 to 4,500 got scheduled for a vaccine today. So it's nice because they're scheduled. Everybody else in the state is just random. You have to try over and over again. And that includes East Rutherford, which is hackensackmeridianhealth.org/COVID-19. There's Moorestown, which is Burlington County. It's Virtua, virtua.org/vaccine. There's Edison, which is rwbh.org/COVID-19 vaccine. And right here in Ocean County, we get 5,600 first doses a week. So we have a health department, which is the Ocean County Health Department. The Ocean County Health Department is ochd.org, and we get 2,900. I say we because it's all of our health department. 2,900 vaccines a week come in. At one point, they were getting 5,000 back in early February, and they actually asked the state for 10,000. The reason why they wanted those 10,000 vaccines is because that's what our 2 mega sites here in Ocean County that our health department have set up can handle a week, which is Toms River High School North and Southern Regional Middle School down in Manahawkin. So those are our health department's 2 spots. So when people say, where's our spots? So our health department has 2 only, Toms River and Manahawkin. There's 29, instead of saying yes to the 10,000, there's only 2,900 a week. They actually lowered it from the original 5,000. So the reason why the 10,000 number is so important is because once they reach over that 10,000 first doses a week, our health department will then open up satellite places. And one of the places on that list, of course, is right here in Brick, our senior center. It'll be somewhere here in Brick, and it'll be for our residents. In addition to that, the health department has also agreed, once they get over that 10,000 vaccine mark, that clubhouses at senior villages will have the vaccine available. Now, so far, only 3 out of our 14 senior village clubhouses has said yes. So if let's just say it happened tomorrow, and I'm fairly certain that's not going to happen tomorrow. It's like everything else in government. It's going to take a long time. But whenever that does happen, right now, it would only be 3 senior villages. So if your senior village has said yes, it would be there, and it's open to all residents. If your senior village has said no or was unable to be contacted, you will not be on that list. So you might want to check with your boards about whether or not they're one of those three, because if they're not and they want to be, they can contact the Ocean County Health Department and get put on that list. So when those sites are able to open, they will be considered. Right here in Brick, we do have 2 spots right now that has vaccines. It's Ocean Medical Center, and in order to schedule a vaccine through them, it's hackensackmeridianhealth.org/COVID-19. And then there's also the Rite Aid store, which is located on Burnt Tavern Road. And that, again, is riteaid.com/pharmacy/COVID-qualifier, or hyphen. Other spots in Ocean County, if you want to try, you can get other Rite Aid stores. There's Point Pleasant, there's Lakewood, there's Jackson. There's also Ocean Health Initiatives, which is ohinj.org. There's also Community Medical Center in Toms River, which is rwbh.org/COVID-19 vaccine. And Southern Ocean Medical Center is the same as our Ocean Medical Center. There is also a CVS in Seaside Heights that has them. And again, these are all, we're able to go anywhere. We can go all the way up to East Rutherford if we're able to schedule. So those 6 mega sites that I mentioned earlier, all the places in Ocean County are open for us. And if you do not have a computer or do not have access to the internet for whatever reason, our senior services, if you're over 65, so most of the time it's the seniors that don't have this access, 732-920-8686, and they can help you make an appointment at one of these places. So most likely at the Ocean County Health Department, which is right now Toms River North or Southern Regional Middle School. Tomorrow night is Brick versus Brick Memorial mock trial for the Mayor's Cup. So congratulations to all the kids that are going to participate tomorrow. And next week is Read Across America Day. I'm looking forward to taping myself reading a book so that kids can watch it. Recording myself, I should say. I'm dating myself. And that is pretty much it. So thank you very much. I know it was long, but a lot of people don't have this information. Thanks.
Shut myself off. That was great information. Thank you. Mr. Starkey?
No, nothing from me, thank you.
I believe we've established. Madam Clerk, nothing?
No, nothing.
Madam Secretary?
Nothing.
Councilwoman Zapsik?
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to share an email that we received from First Energy Corporation, which is PNL. Evidently, there is a phone scam going on right now where callers are calling residents and posing as JCPNL employees and demanding immediate payment. This is a widespread scam which frequently targets small businesses. The telephone call posts that an electric utility company employee calling threats to shut off the customer's power unless immediate payment is made. I want you to know that if your account is past due, you will receive a written notice of your account status with instructions on how to move forward. One of our representatives may call to talk about a bill that's in arrears. They will never demand payment over the phone. So residents, business owners are urged to be vigilant. I know just this week alone, Monday, Tuesday, a couple times both today and yesterday, I received calls about irregularities on my Social Security. Those are also scams, and those are targeted mostly at older adults. They prey on their fears, but Social Security Administration does not call people if there's anything that they need to notify you about. It comes in the mail. So I just encourage all residents to never give any personal information out from your phone. And a lot of times what they do is they spoof a legitimate phone number. So you might see something come up on your caller ID that looks like a name or looks like a business name. You think it's a call. But once you call them back, they come out. So just be careful and let it down. Hang up. It's legitimate. They'll try and reach you by another way. And that's all I have this evening. Keep wearing your mask, keep watching your distance, keep washing your hands. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Menachino?
Thank you. I have nothing tonight.
Councilwoman DeYoung?
Thank you. I have nothing tonight.
Councilman Mumolo? Hello? He's muted.
But not by me.
Are you there?
Can you hear me okay?
I can now, yes.
Okay, sorry. We also get calls on our extended warranty expiring, too. I get them quite often, which I'm not quite sure what they're not allowed to do. Also, that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pontorero.
Thank you, Madam President. This past weekend, on Sunday, the town had their annual rabies vaccination, and I just wanted to thank the extraordinary efforts of Lynette, Diana, our clerk, Jen Hartman, our secretary, all of the staff of the Diana clerk's office, and the people from recreation, as well as the veterinarian and her technician. It was run extremely smoothly and very much in accordance with the CDC guidelines, the social distancing. I brought my two dogs, Louie and Sergio. The veterinarian gave the shot without them even flinching, and I got to see a lot of cute animals while in line, so I wanted to thank everyone for their efforts. It's a really great program. If anyone's interested, just keep your eye open next January with the date to come out, because the slots apparently do book up pretty quick. But thank you to everyone who helped. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Council Vice President Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to remind people, if you do get your shots, that's great. But that doesn't make you, doesn't allow you to drop your guard regarding some of the safe measures that we all need to take, which is wearing a mask and social distancing. You can still, while you're vaccinated, you hopefully will not get sick from the virus should you get it. But you still can get it, and you still can pass it on without knowing it. So you still have to be just as safe as if you didn't have the vaccination at all. You can pass it unknowingly to people. You can get it from unknowingly from someone who's asymptomatic. I would just still please use caution, wear your masks, and please social distance until we're completely out of this craziness. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and the only thing I have to say is, in case there's anyone listening who may have misconstrued earlier, I did laugh at the end of public comment, but that was simply because I completely skipped over the mayor and his turn to speak without realizing it, and he was kind of looking at me like, what about me? So, just in case, we're not on camera and you can't see that, so I wanted to make sure people understood why I was chuckling. It had nothing to do with anything other than I completely overlooked the mayor when it was his time to speak. So, having said that, that brings us to the end of our consent agenda, or public comment, or whatever we're doing here. Our next scheduled meeting will be held on Tuesday, March 9th at 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Okay, we're off. I heard him say something about, laugh. I didn't even catch you were laughing. So I'm like, who's laughing?
I went right